everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from gorgeous springtime in Salt Lake City,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up on the show today, Dan, there's a group we've talked about before, Samaritan's Purse. And it's an evangelical Christian sort of
It's
Red Cross type organization.
It's Franklin
sorts.
Graham's group.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who set up a tent hospital out in New York City to help out with the COVID-19 stuff. And it feels weird. They are bigots, but they are helping, and it is hard to parse that out.
Yeah, so we're going to parse.
We'll parse a little bit of parsing. Everybody loves a good parse. Let us parse together. Everyone hold hands.
Indeed. All right. Well, in the meantime, Dan.
Yeah.
News of a mass funeral in Bangladesh has people worried. Right now, Bangladesh is under obviously a lot of COVID restrictions.
Sure.
They actually have banned groups of more than 5 getting together for prayers.
Sure.
Which seems appropriate.
I don't even know how God, Allah, whoever it is even going to hear them with 5 or fewer voices in the prayer.
He just has to listen that much harder.
They just can't get to heaven that way. I don't know how it's supposed to work.
It's a challenge.
Maybe COVID-19 is just God's way of quieting down the noise.
I don't know. I saw
all of the prayer noise.
Prayers are up, apparently.
Yeah.
But anyway, according to reports, more than 100,000 people broke the country's ban, the country's mass gatherings ban, in order to attend the funeral of Muslim cleric Maulana Zabayer Ahmed Ansari. And this is obviously a bad thing. In terms of public health, this ain't good.
No, yeah,
in about 2 weeks' time, they're probably gonna see a spike, and with that many people all commingling and all just spreading shit around and in tight quarters, for this kind of thing, you're not standing 6 feet apart from each other. No. I checked right before we started recording to find out what Bangladesh's numbers are according to the Johns Hopkins COVID tracker thing.
Oh, okay.
Now, when this article posted 3 days ago, they were reporting 2,456 cases of COVID-19 and 91 deaths. 3 days later, so this is April 22nd now when we're recording, and it will be 3 more days when the show posts. But as of today, 3,772 cases and 120 deaths. So their numbers are going up and they're starting to jump, right? So they've got something that maybe isn't like completely out of control at the moment, but that's heading that way. So, and this is going to be bad.
Yeah,
why people why?
Well, there you go.
Just stay at home. Watch a Facebook Live.
Yeah, well, we're lucky because we live in a country where the messaging got out really well about why everybody should stay home and how that should work, and we're all doing it so great in these United States. And
well, the problem is, I think that we were doing it pretty well, and now people are getting a little. I think so. I mean, I think so. Right?
All I'm saying is there's ding-dongs all over the world.
There are ding-dongs all over the world, but what I'm saying is I think we got off to a really decent start. Once it was seen that it was like starting to like really bubble up, aside from a few places, like the vast majority of this country is under some sort of like lockdown, and we've seen the curve start to flatten. It's now's the problem. People are getting antsy, and people are like these stupid protests that are just ludicrous.
Yeah,
like they're really, really, really infuriating. Listening to a thing today, it's the Tea Party people. They're all behind it.
Yeah,
all of the same groups that were supporting the Tea Party movement 10 years ago have been pushing this whole thing, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, well, you're just killing your own. You're just
they're going to kill all of us. That's the problem.
Well, nah, I'm staying home. Well, they're not getting anywhere near me. I'm not going anywhere near those bastards.
Right, but there's a lot of people who don't have that luxury.
I know. Stay home, everybody. I'm going to move us to, speaking of not staying home, holy crap. I don't know if you know this, but last Sunday, just this last Sunday, was Easter. Now, we said it was for the Orthodox Christians.
Oh, God. Yeah, good. Because I was really concerned that, like, those 3 days had felt that long.
No, just for those dudes. They're on a different calendar.
Gotcha.
And a different beard shaving schedule, that is. But here's the thing about those dudes. They have this tradition that I had never heard of, where they go to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre or whatever it is, where Christ's tomb is presumed to have been.
Yeah.
And they have this miracle that they do every year, which is the holy fire. It's a ceremony of holy fire, where they go into Christ's tomb and come out with torches blazing that are theoretically lit from a column of fire that emits light in the tomb, and it's holy fire.
No.
Oh yes.
Damn. How does this happen?
And then they light some candles. Oh, they cheat. It's
How
not
do you know
something.
that?
Well, I don't. I don't know that for sure.
It's a miracle, Dan.
It's a miracle.
What are we doing? Where are these people? Who are they? I need to follow them.
There is a problem, though. Before you get too excited about it, there is a problem, and that problem is that like nobody could come this year to be outside the church awaiting all of the clerics that come out, from all over because you don't want just one guy. You get the cleric from Russia, you get the guy from Greece, you get the guy from the US, you get the guy from Poland, whatever. And they all go in and they all come out with these lit torches or whatever, but nobody gets to see it this year because it's like everybody had to be separated.
Oh.
So they came up with a really brilliant idea, which was they sent chartered airplanes from all of their sort of basic things, flew to Tel Aviv, drove to Jerusalem, then got the fire, drove back to their planes, got on the planes with the fire.
With fire?
With
on planes?
Like, lanterns a-burning.
Oh my God.
On their chartered jets, and then flew themselves back home. So that everybody back home can see the magic flame.
Because it's the same flame.
Yeah.
It's like the Olympic torch relay.
It really is.
It's the same flame.
It is every bit as...
is that how flame works?
It's how flame works, yeah. It's like Amish friendship bread or like a sourdough start. You just keep it going. It's the same bread the whole time.
Which, by the way, like I can just accept that we're friends. You don't need to give me like a pile of yeast. Like, that's just not necessary.
Have you ever had Amish friendship bread?
No, I haven't.
It's delicious.
I'm sure it is.
It's cinnamony. It's a sweet. It's more. It's closer to a cake, really.
Really? Does the yeast impart a cinnamon flavor? Like,
no, cinnamon does.
You actually add cinnamon.
Yeah.
Well, what's the point? Just make it with get some fucking yeast. Like, who cares? Right? Like, magical yeast.
Yeah, but then you don't feel like obligated to make more.
Oh, is that what it is?
I don't know.
You got to keep it. You got to feed it, right? Got to feed that starter.
Yeah, exactly.
We've all been learning so much about this stuff thanks to lockdown.
Oh my God, so many of my friends are now bakers. Look at all my bread, they say on Facebook. And I'm just like, you could have made bread at any time in this whole, the entire time you were alive, you could have made bread.
I baked something the other day.
Did you?
A giant chocolate chip cookie.
Oh.
12-inch round skillet chocolate chip cookie.
Okay. How was it?
It was more like cookie bar type thing, right?
Sure.
But I have to say it was pretty good.
You should send me the recipe.
It was pretty fucking good.
Did you do it in cast iron?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Start off, you brown the butter first.
Ooh.
Oh my God, Dan. Who knew? It's
fancy.
all caramel, like it smelled like candy. And all it was just butter. It's crazy.
Anyway. Well, butter is the secret ingredient to all of the yummies out there.
God, no kidding. Yeah.
Anyway,
all right, Dan.
there you go. You got fire going on to the countries and whatever.
That's so silly. All right, Dan.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this Fairness for All Act?
My
representative in Congress, Chris Stewart.
What a great man he is. A truly great man.
So much. I've written him some really angry emails.
Yeah. He read them all too.
He read them, yeah. But in the moment I felt better.
Good.
So just in case you don't know what the Fairness for All Act is, it's basically an amendment to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. You know, the one that gave protection under the law to based on sort of classes, protected classes, right?
Sure.
Based on race, religion, physical and mental handicaps,
right?
People over the age of 40. Did you know that? Did you know that we're protected?
Oh,
Dan,
thank God.
In the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Well, here's what you want. What you want is for someone in the whitest category of white people, aka Mormons, to fuck with that. That's what you want.
Right. Well, so what they're doing is they want to amend it to make it be fair to religious groups.
Yeah.
While also, they claim. So it says if passed, it would amend the Civil Rights Act to protect religious freedom in the workplace, meaning we don't have to hire you homo.
Right.
And the right, and it would also supposedly protect the rights of LGBT people while preserving First Amendment rights, meaning we're not really going to extend you that many rights because we also want to be able to call you a homo.
Right. So it gives LGBT people the right not to be hired by religious folk.
Essentially, yeah.
It's a great right.
Yeah. This is the thing that is going to be happening with regards to gay rights in this country. It is this whole idea of balancing the freedom of religion with gay rights is an attack on gay people. It's an attack on gay rights, and it's an attack on rights that gay people don't even have fully established in this country. It's weird. We have the right to marry, but we don't have workplace protections. Right. And
in certain
jurisdictions,
jurisdictions you do, but not federally.
Speaking, right.
I could fire you from this podcast right now, just for being gay.
Just try it, Dan. Just try it. This thing's going to the Supreme Court. So obviously,
this Supreme Court? Are you kidding me? You think you have a chance against me in this Supreme Court?
You'd be surprised.
We'd both be thrown out for being
surprised.
Atheists.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, so the Mormon Church is getting behind this.
Yeah.
And
of course they are.
Of course they are. And they have actually hired a PR firm to push the Fairness for All Act. They've hired APCO Worldwide, or maybe APCO Worldwide. It's all capital letters. So
sure.
You
so
choose,
it's yelling at you.
You choose APCO Worldwide. It's a global PR firm. And they are going to be working on this issue and making it, they're going to be cleaning it up, making it sound like it's really just about protecting the freedom of religion. And they'll make it sound like, because it's right there in the name of the goddamn thing, that this is the fair thing to do.
Right.
That what's fair is that gay people should be happy and content with people having the right to discriminate against them because of their religious beliefs. I mean, what other sort of protected group, right, has ever had, it's a protected group, right? Who has had to endure, right, the being only protected as much as their oppressor's belief system allows, right? Like what the fuck?
Well, the truth is that most of the slaves actually really liked slavery. It was they were pleased with it. Yeah. You got to give them the right to have that.
Well, and gay people, we love it. We love it when people,
look,
don't hire us because we're gay.
Gay people are happy one way or the other
because they're gay, right? This exempts people like in service. Various different service providers, right?
Right.
Throughout our society, throughout it, fuck you,
right?
This is disgusting.
All I'm saying is that if this doesn't include in the bill a specific provision for white Heritage Month and straight pride parades, I don't know what we're doing with ourselves. If it's not in the bill, then what's even the point?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. It's just disgusting. I mean,
it is gross.
And also these just to blanket act like religious people are fucking put upon in this country.
Oh, they're so put upon. They are persecuted, Franklin. Persecuted. We actually, I'm looking forward to this. We actually in the emails section have an email from someone who will address this very issue.
Nice. All right.
So there you go.
Cool.
Meanwhile, I'm going to take us to Louisiana, which, pound for pound, person for person, has one of the highest COVID-19 outbreaks in the country. I don't know I haven't actually researched the per capita numbers, but I think they're like 9th in the country as a state. They're not doing great.
Right.
They have a lot of the virus, and boy, are they passing it around to each other. And that's due in no small part to people like one Louisiana pastor, Tony Spell, who has gotten himself in a peck of trouble lately.
Oh.
He was first in trouble, and maybe we talked about this. He was one of the guys who was determined to hold church no matter what. And he did hold church, and there was a warrant issued for him because he was not allowed to hold church, because that would be an obviously idiotic thing to do during a global pandemic.
Right.
So he was charged with that. He wasn't arrested and jailed for that, in part because they decided that they didn't want to bring people into the jails, into the prison system, as much as they could avoid it because of the goddamn COVID-19 virus. However, after that, there was a guy who decided he was so fed up with this guy that he was going to protest the church. A lone protester who would stand out in front of the church with little signs, cute little signs that said things like, I've got it somewhere. Anyway, he just had little signs that said, danger. These people are, trying to give us all COVID. So, and close this church, I think was one of the things that his sign said. Well, Pastor Spell was not having that. So, like any reasonable, Jesus-inspired, obviously kind, loving human would do, he drove a bus at the guy.
Wait, he just had a bus handy?
Yeah, he had the Life Tabernacle Church bus that goes and picks up all the elderly and the infirm people to bring them into church, because otherwise, how do you get those checks to yourself?
Right.
And he backed that bus out of his. I saw the video of it. It's a bus that is. It's being driven backwards out of the church's driveway, and then pulls it's going quite quick, pretty fast, and it pulls around the corner onto the street against the traffic. So it's like going. It's pointed in the right direction, but it's going backwards, and it comes within He stopped short of the guy, but he's definitely trying to intimidate the guy by driving a bus at him.
Oh, my God.
This time he was arrested. He turned himself in and was taken into the police station in handcuffs.
Oh, my God.
As was one of his parishioners who also drove a truck at this protester, narrowly missing him by about a foot.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So... they got the Lord in them for sure.
They've got like bad 80s movies in them. Like,
right?
Like this is not like what normal people do. Like this is what people in poorly written screenplays do. Right?
Yeah.
Like
this is not how grown-up human beings act.
No, I mean it's but it also like no. It does feel like the South though, doesn't it?
Good. We hadn't pissed off our Southern listeners for a minute. I'm so glad we threw that one out there.
Well, not because they're all like driving buses into each other, but because there's just enough of them that would, if given the chance. Right.
Ugh. Swerving your truck at people. If you swerve your truck at people because you disagree with their sign, that makes you a bad person. Yeah. I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah, like legitimately. Oh my God!
Even if and no, you can't say, "But I missed him on purpose." That doesn't change it.
No, that's like shooting a gun, across like a warning shot across the bow. No, that's still a dick thing to do. Right?
Well, and it's also aggravated assault.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's happening.
Oh golly gee!
And of course, the pastor came out of jail, was released to a crowd of his parishioners clapping, at which he said, "I'll see you at church." So
I'll see you
hooray! Now. He's not backing down from the man. Good for you.
God. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Dan. Federal relief, Dan. COVID-19.
I haven't felt it yet.
I know. I haven't seen my check.
Very little of what I have felt from the federal government in the last little while has been relief. Let me just check the meter. 0. It feels like 0 in the last 3 years. Has felt like relief. But certainly since the COVID-19, I have not felt relieved. That is not the feeling that I would say I have felt.
Well, but there is need for relief. Dan.
There is need for and monetary. Specifically, you're talking about monetary relief.
Yeah.
The
economy is in a absolute what would you call it?
Tailspin,
free fall,
nosedive. I went from nose to from tail to nose. It's not good, is what you're saying.
it's bad. And because everything's closed, right? There are certain things that can't open. Things like
and there's a lot of uncertainty out there too.
Schools, colleges, they can't open, right? But federal, there's federal funding, federal relief for schools coming through the CARES Act, right? And specifically, it's coming to Utah. And everywhere else, of course. And our schools and colleges are going to receive over $200 million in federal relief funding.
Good.
Yeah, that's like really good. The University of Utah is expecting to receive $18.8 million. Other public schools are expecting the same. The Utah Board of Education, which would be over like all the public schools, like K through 12, they're getting a ton of money just to spread around. And also, LDS Church owned Brigham Young University is going to be receiving some money. It's the institution receiving the largest sum of money at $32.2 million. I mean, granted, Brigham Young University doesn't have specifically $100 billion sitting in the bank, but the organization that owns them does.
Very much does.
And
absolutely.
This kind of feels a little bit along, Harvard has been in some hot water for taking a bunch of this same money when they've got an endowment of, it's like half the size of the LDS Church's slush fund.
Yeah, the Harvard endowment looked real cool until the news broke about the LDS Church, and then everybody was like, "What?
How'd that happen?"
Yeah.
Well, also that's not the only LDS owned institution receiving relief funding. LDS Business College in Salt Lake City is going to receive $1.4 million. Much smaller organization. But yeah, so this doesn't really sit well with me. I get it. Like, it is an institution of higher learning, and they do obviously work with some federal programs in order to assist their students. They'll do like Pell Grants and Stafford loans and all that kind of crap, which are obviously federal programs. And so I'm sure there's a lot of rationale there. It is odd that it's receiving, almost twice as much as the University of Utah. It's not like it has twice as many students.
No, it has fewer students,
has
right?
fewer students, and also has a much lower tuition. So this is baffling. But also, Dan, don't worry. If you're like me, you might have a bad. COVID has also maybe affected your hair. Right? Your hairstyle. Like you can't go get a haircut right now, Dan.
I'm getting shaggy. It's true. I definitely need something.
Well, don't worry. The Paul Mitchell School of Salt Lake City has received $647,000 to make sure that the next generation of beauty and cosmetology students are well trained and ready to get our hair back to shape. So
we need to just establish the TGIA school for the terminally non-theist, just so we can get a sweet piece of that pie.
Indeed, Dan.
Yeah.
But that's I think it's something to be. Everybody should be looking at their local colleges and universities and asking their members of Congress, why did this organization receive this much money when we live in where's the separation of church and state?
Yeah.
Not that's going to happen anytime soon.
I mean, I've been hearing reports of churches going after that money, so
I know it's disgusting.
Just churches. So we'll see how everything plays out. At this point, they're just going to get it, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Well, you can still call your congressman.
You can call your congressman. It will do something. Nothing. It might do something. You never know. Enough people call and they still won't listen. All right. Well, I'm going to go back to Israel for just a brief moment. You know, we had just taken all of their fire away. But
what
Israel...
will they do? How will they stay warm?
Israel has been hard hit by the COVID-19 thing, in no small part because I mean, you and I, Frank, we live in a theocracy. It's supposed to be not that, but it is here in Utah. Also, Israel's supposed to be not that, and yet a lot of their world is run by ultra orthodox Jews,
right?
And but also they're not just being dicks. They also have their own charities, including one whose name I actually am not finding, probably because it's in Hebrew and I don't speak that. Anyway, it's a charity run by one Rabbi Chaim Kanievsky, who is obviously an ultra-Orthodox rabbi, and this organization has made a wonderful promise, and that is that if you give just 3,000 new Israeli shekels, is that what that NIS stands for? I think that's what that stands for. 3,000 shekels, which is roughly sort of $840-ish. You can get protection from the virus.
Really?
Magic Jewish. You get a little amulet, a locket of some sort that will be blessed by the rabbi. In addition to being, you are also blessed by the rabbi. But yeah, a little silver trinket for your home.
Nice.
And that will apparently, according to them, protect you from the virus. Now, I'm all for giving to charity, and frankly, NPR tote bags aren't doing it for me. I think it's time that other charities start offering this service because we could really use some protection from this virus. So,
yeah,
how great that that God power, that their God is protecting them because of their good deeds.
I think like a better gift to protect you would maybe be a lock for your door. Here you go, lock yourself in. Bye bye.
Well, maybe you can use this amulet as some sort of doorstop to keep people out. Yeah, exactly.
Can't open that door now.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm glad that they're giving to charity. It just seems maybe a titch irresponsible.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
I don't know. If you, friends at home, have some ideas about the responsibility or lack thereof of this, or if you have amulets that you'd like to send us to protect us, you can write to us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you could call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click the like button.
And while you're there, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It is a closed group, but we will let you in. Also find us on Twitter @TGIAtheist. Hey, Dan.
Hey.
We got a new voice coming onto the show this week.
Oh, I love it.
A man by the name of Sid Roth.
Yes.
He hosts an online program, right?
It's like a TV show.
It is a full-on TV show?
I think so. It's a show called It's Supernatural.
Ooh.
And it looks like it has a subheading. It says It's Supernatural, and then in smaller print it says and Messianic Vision. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's the guy has a show.
Yeah.
And but this isn't from his show.
No, this is just him talking on his YouTube.
He was doing a Q&A for the people, you see.
Yeah.
And then apparently somebody asked him if about right-wing hero Donald John Trump and whether or not he's a liar.
Do you think he lies? You know, I have friends that tell me they've led him to the Lord, that he is a man that is trying to follow God. That's between God and him. I personally believe he is because I see the favor of God on his life. But I don't know. It's like the rapture. You know, if I don't know, all I know is I'm being raptured. Please, if you don't agree with me, don't even say it. I'll give you a scripture to that effect. But anyway, because you're supposed to love your brothers. Do you think he lies? I don't think he lies intentionally, but I think he would tell a lie. Do I think that the media that accuses him of some horrific lies? Yes, that I know. Whether he lies or not, I don't know. But whether the media lies about him, I know because I know the facts. And I see how they distort or take things out of context.
That's all about context, Dan.
Yeah, sure.
Because, you can make him look like he's lying.
Right.
When he's lying.
If
by
you
just
pull
playing
one of those
clips of him, you can
tricks, like actually like quoting him and stuff. Sure. If you want to be engage in trickery like that.
Yeah. Just playing clips of what he said last week versus what he said this week. Yeah. Showing him denying that he ever said the thing last week.
Sure. Yeah, no. He lies and then he denies that he lies. So, yeah, I mean, you can make it look like he lied on top of the lie on top of the lie.
Yeah.
But really, maybe that all only counts as one lie.
And, is it intentional?
There's math there that I don't know how to do.
Yeah. Is it intentional? This lying? I don't think
I almost would go with him on that. I would almost say, no, the man doesn't intend to lie. He doesn't even understand that, just saying whatever the first thing that comes to your head is, he doesn't know that there's any problem with that.
Yeah.
Our president doesn't actually have any kind of compass, not just moral compass, but just a compass about, how the universe works and how what you say has meaning other than just, I wanted to say it, so I said it. How could that be wrong? How could I be wrong? Look at how good I am, is basically his entire thing.
All right.
Well, we had some folks write into us that I thought I'd read from, if you don't mind.
Okay.
If you're game for that sort of thing.
Sure, maybe.
Okay, we'll see. We'll let you decide afterwards. The Right Reverend Jim Bob has written into us. He's written a time or two before. He says, given the current state of being locked in the house, I have finished having finished Netflix. Don't we all relate to that? I've been listening to your back catalog. Oh, right, Reverend Jim Bob. Has it come to that?
Ugh.
Anyway, something I had already stated anyway, or already started anyway, because of your insightful analysis of the state of the world. Uh-oh. Oh. He's crediting us with insight. Okay. That's dangerous. One thing has leapt out at me, though. You are hideous at political prognostication.
Oh, no.
Candidate Jeb Bush winning the primary is a shoo-in? President Hillary Clinton? And I don't think it's an accident. I'm pretty sure that God is maliciously proving you wrong to show his glory.
Oh,
Please be careful what you say this time, as I'd rather the current president of the White House not be a 4-term president.
Well, I mean, we all know he's getting reelected.
Good. Say that. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, in fairness, I used to be pretty darn good at predicting elections. Now it's something that I refuse to do because the world is topsy-turvy and human beings are no longer predictable, and it's a crazy, mixed-up hellscape that we live in now. So,
quite literally.
Before that election, I was actually I felt like I was actually pretty spot on about a lot of things. No, it doesn't. And after that particular disaster of 2016, yeah, you won't catch me making predictions anymore.
Well, all right.
Anyway, let's see. This was apparently anonymous. Hi, Frank and Dan. It was a pleasure. Oh, no. It was a pleasure speaking to you guys last week in the Zoom meeting. Yeah, I think.
And for those of you who don't know, there's one coming up this next Tuesday, right, Dan?
That's right.
Do we have a time on that we can announce, or does it? No,
yeah.
Because it'll be in the evening, and we will send out an invite, right?
Yeah, that's right. So if you want to be a part of it, get us an email quick at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com and put Zoom in the
subject line.
In the subject line, and then we'll make sure to get you onto the email list that will give you the date or the time of and where to go
to find us,
the link and everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the TGIA episode, in the last TGIA episode, you spoke about the LDS Church member numbers growth. This got me interested into how many numbers there are here on the island of Aruba.
Oh,
Frank, you remember our friend from Aruba?
I do, yeah.
Unfortunately for them, their predictions did not become true here either. The church has been slow to grow.
Oh.
There are several faiths on the islands, with Catholics on the top with 90,000 members, followed by evangelicals, 8,153, Methodists at 1,255, Jehovah's Witnesses at 1080, Seventh-day Adventists 948, and Latter-day Saints coming in at a miserable 591 members. Oof. And he sent us in some links to what he had found. Occasionally, I see LDS missionaries riding their bikes in pairs in the scorching heat.
Oh, whatever.
Atheists are becoming more vocal here and have small but growing presence online.
Yeah.
I leave you with some pictures of our sunset and beaches below. They were pretty.
Yeah.
And the only ship still docked here on the island, the Free Winds, the Church of Scientology's floating training center.
Oh my goodness.
And there's a picture of it, and my goodness, it is a very large. I don't know if you've ever seen their giant boat.
No.
It's a huge cruise ship sized style
seriously
boat that they own. I guess that's where the Sea Org is based, I think, which is one of their orgs, and is run entirely by church membership slavery. So that's nice. But look it up. It's a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm actually looking at pictures of Aruba because I don't want to look at some culty ship. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We don't get to go anywhere for like 2 to 4 years.
It's going to be a minute. Don't say 2 to 4 years.
It's going to be 2 to 4 years. So there's a prognostication that can be wrong.
Sure.
But it's going to be.
Let's make that wrong.
It's going to be.
Let's make that wrong.
It's going to be a long while.
Okay. Hi, Frank and Dan. This is Philip writing into us. Hi, Frank and Dan. On the topic of businesses discriminating against Christians, I told you that would happen. I have an idea. The business owner states that they have a personal religious conviction not to be a party to helping anyone violate their own religion. He then posts a list of things he cannot, in good conscience, sell to Christians. There would be similar lists for each religion. When a restricted item is rung up on a register, a loudspeaker makes a call to the manager for religiously restricted item approval. In order to purchase the item, the person must simply verbally disavow the specified religion to the manager.
Oh, nice.
E.g., I'm not a Christian. The list for Christians could include such things as shrimp, lobster, pork, or all unclean food items, clothing made of multiple types of fiber, alcohol, tobacco, pornography, anything too racy, e.g., workout magazine or swimsuit issues.
Yeah. Any
images of God, angels, Jesus, etc. Right? Why is that okay? Have they not read their own fucking... Anyway, okay. Or anything that could possibly be construed as gay. Nothing with rainbows on them, for example. Right. Candles and incense. If the buyer is male, you get it.
Yeah.
If they claim religious discrimination, you use RFRA as your defense, stating that the restrictions are based on the owner's religious convictions, not the buyer's. Yeah, I just thought that was really cute. That's a fun idea.
Yeah, nice.
And there you go. Turn it back on them. We're not that big of dicks, I think, for the most part as a group, but I do keep wanting to find ways to have fun using their own fairness cries against them.
It's just ridiculous.
Before I turn it over to you, I have we have some friends that donated to us via a one-time donation.
Oh, nice.
That I need to thank. One of them said not to use a name, but asked if we would please give an audible nod to postal clerks, mail handlers, and carriers.
Yeah.
Who are just having a really tough time these days. And hell yeah, you get a shout out because that is an amazing thing. And I hate that right now we feel like there's a possibility that our postal service could go away. Yes, international listeners, we're trying to save our postal service right now. So that's the state of things in these United States. Thank you very much.
Yeah. But thank you.
And also, thanks very much for a one-time donation from Mary Margaret, who says she's trying to change her name, but she doesn't have any good ideas.
Does she need ideas? Does she need some help?
Yeah, we could brainsome up a few ideas for Mary Margaret.
Yeah.
Is it just too Catholic for you? Is that why you want to change it, Mary Margaret? It's fine. Mary Margaret's a fine name. But if it's too Catholic, I don't know. You could go with a nice Jennifer.
Jennifer, yeah. Or Margaret. Margaret's a nice name. I mean, Mary's a nice name too. But
sure. Could give it some Latin flair and go with Maria.
What's short for Margaret?
Maggie.
There's Maggie. Yeah.
Marge.
I suppose so. Margaret doesn't it have Peggy? That's the one. Peggy is a standard nickname for Margaret.
For Margaret?
Yeah, it's one of those weird ones like Richard and Dick, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's funny.
I suppose you could do Peggy. Peggy doesn't
Peggy
conjure up anything.
May not be the best nickname ever.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
Better than Marge.
Yes, better than Marge.
But I do like Maggie.
Yeah.
You could go with Maggie.
Maggie's really cute. All right. Well, Dan, I do have some people to thank over on Patreon.
Yes, please.
We have 4 new patrons this week. We have a new deacon by the name of David. Thank you.
All right.
We have a new teacher by the name of Matt. We have a new priest. And that's a Mormon priest, everybody.
Right. Don't get too excited. It's just an Aaronic priesthood priest. I mean, we're excited because we love all of our... But
but Lynette is a new priest. And then we have Nicole is a new patriarch. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, so thank you so much, everyone, for signing up, be it on Patreon or over on PayPal. We appreciate your support so much. And what all of these fine people did is they went to our website, thankgodimatheist.com, and then they clicked on the support tab. And then they followed the links to the direction that they wanted to go. And is there... Oh, we our top donor, Dan.
Yeah. I thought you were in dereliction of your duties for a second there. We have a Lord and Savior, you know.
What's next? Our top donor, our Lord and Savior, Davis.
Hooray! All right. Well, thank you all so very much, and we sure do appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Hey, Dan.
Yes.
Yes,
sir.
As we mentioned at the beginning of the show, we want to talk about Samaritan's Purse and the work that they're doing right now in helping to fight the pandemic and to assist in treating people. Are they specifically, let's say, like in their big tent and tents and whatnot in Central Park in New York, right? They're set up there.
They got a field hospital
out there.
They have a field
hospital.
It's like fucking MASH.
Are they taking COVID people, or are they taking people who would otherwise maybe be at the hospital and being ignored because they're not COVID? Like what's going on?
I'll be honest with you. I up until you asked that question, was pretty sure it was just COVID patients.
Oh,
but
okay.
Now that you've asked it, you've thrown me for a loop.
Nonetheless, they're there and they're helping out. They're helping out the healthcare situation.
Doing genuinely good work.
Yeah.
In a place that really needs the help.
Yeah, absolutely. And
so
the question is, since it is at least in their hiring practices, a hateful organization, a gay hating organization.
They require you to sign a statement of faith that basically says, and by the way, I believe that marriage is between one man and one woman, and there's no such thing as trans people because they're weird.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that's the exact wording.
Yeah.
And that's hate. That's hate.
That's hate. That's like, and so the question, I guess, is, how do you feel about that, Dan?
Well, it's tricky, right? I proposed this as a topic because we're in a time when we need all the help we can get.
Absolutely, all hands on deck, right?
And so like. I don't want to get too pissy about anybody who's helping. Now, there's plenty of churches and bigots who are decidedly not helping. But I mean, this is doctors and nurses we're talking about, and they are in the thick of it. It is a brave thing to go into Manhattan right now and help people.
Yeah.
So but there's a larger question here, which is, do we need to be praising people for doing good while they're dicks about other things? Because COVID-19 aside, there's charity being done around the world by faith groups that are also hate groups.
Yeah. Isn't that complicated? Isn't that weird?
And it's tricky.
Yeah.
It's fucking tricky because here's the thing. I want to encourage this. I want to encourage being kind and good to fellow humans and doing charity work and stepping in when there's a need. Like, that's all stuff that I want to encourage. So I don't want to make these people my enemy. I don't want to make them feel because the truth is that, like, if we scream and yell at them about their bigotry while they're doing good things, are we inciting them not to do good things?
Yeah, I don't know. I find the fact that they have essentially they have this weird agenda, right?
Yeah.
And and that's really bothersome for me. And now they've like positioned themselves. And thanks to sort of this administration and their stated goal of redirecting the WHO money that Trump is withholding and redirecting it to the American Red Cross and Samaritan's Purse, right? So they're about to receive huge funds, right? Which is, infuriating from the government.
It's not being directed just by need. It's being directed by who they like.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like if this is going to, on a proportional basis to where it is most needed, and some of it came to Samaritan's Purse or whatever, I would be much more okay with it. But it looks like it's going to be wildly disproportional in favor of places and organizations that this administration likes.
Yeah.
And that's hugely problematic.
Right. And then there's just the whole thing of like, you know, let's say I was in as a gay man, right? I found myself in, I could imagine sort of COVID-19 scaling up here in Salt Lake, let's say, right? And Samaritan's Purse put a big old, field hospital in one of our parks, right?
Yeah.
And then that's where I'm getting taken when whatever happens to me that lands me in the hospital. It's like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll take the assistance, but what kind of position does that put me in? Right. A really shitty one. And I get that there are charitable and kind and good people who don't like me. Right. And at least to the extent that they don't want to extend me equal rights, and they don't want to extend the same courtesies that I would extend to them. Right. And
well, they love you, Frank.
They love me. They just can't,
They just think that you're evil and a bad human being.
Right. And yeah, and that's weird, right? Because I feel like they've got a flaw, right? As human beings.
Well, there's that.
Right? Like they've got a problem, and we have a problem because their beliefs are just prominent enough to fuck with my rights.
Yeah.
Right?
It's tricky. I mean, and here's the real bitch of the thing is that if we were on the other side of this political / religious agenda, there would be somebody complaining about like, well, am I even okay with it? Think about the position I'm put in when I go to a hospital and it's a gay nurse that's helping me. I mean, it's nice of them to help me, but they're still gay and evil, and am I okay with that?
Right, but here's the difference. I go to a hospital. Doesn't matter, the hospital, right?
Right.
And, I mean, I guess I'm saying a regular sort of non-church religiously sponsored hospital, right? Just your
which are harder and harder to find, but okay.
Granted, whatever. But let's say I go to the University of Utah hospital, right?
Sure.
And my nurse is an evangelical Christian, right? And is maybe even a little outspoken about it. It's obvious, right? Somehow they're showing it off, right?
Yeah, she's got a cross around her neck and she's talking about Jesus.
It's annoying, right? But I don't worry about the care that I'm going to be given because the institution itself is not her institution, right?
Right.
So I don't know that it really plays out for me. Like it's not just that it's the nurse, right? So somebody goes to a hospital and they have a gay nurse. They need to look the other way and realize that person's a professional, and that's something that I think a lot of these people aren't willing to do, right? Because it's not like you just landed at the gay hospital. Right. I don't want to go to the evangelical hospital that's going to be all preachy where everybody's preachy, right? And I get it. They don't want to go to the gay hospital where everybody's going to be, a little too swishy and having a good time.
All the halls are rainbow decorated, and there's sequins on the scrubs. Yeah,
all the artwork is beefcake. I get it.
Yeah. So if they were in danger of that, they might have a complaint.
Yeah, that would be a legitimate thing where I would go, you know what? Maybe we need to figure out a way for them to not have to wind up at the gay hospital.
The gay hospital where all the doctors and nurses have to sign a piece of paper that says that they hate Christians.
Right. Yeah. You want them to go away. You want to take away, whatever from them.
Right.
There's
You're
a
right.
sense
It's
of
not
animosity.
Equivalent.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's the evangelical Christian movement has set up an adversarial relationship with the gay community. So quite frankly, I don't want to go and to be taken care of by Samaritan's Purse.
Right.
I don't. Right. That's an
I don't blame you.
icky position for me to be in. Now again, if that's all that's there, I'll take it, right? Because I
Yeah.
also want to live. I'm not an idiot, right? But like, please don't make me go to their thing. And that's just it. That's what they're setting up, is this like, it's gross. It's, you know, Gilead General Hospital, right? Like,
Yeah.
no way.
General hate spittle. See what I did there?
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
I get it, man. I don't want to go there, and I'm not even gay. I don't want to go anywhere where there's a question of like where your loyalties lie. And I'm sure that 99% of the people that work, the medical professionals that work for what's her name's purse?
Yeah, Samaritan's purse.
I'm sure that they genuinely are professionals who would help anybody, no matter what their creed or you know, race or any of that stuff.
I believe that.
I'm sure that most of them.
I believe that too.
But it's the potential. It's the problematic. It is the culture that you have built within your organization that is the problem.
Yeah. Well, and also like, I don't want them to be able to use me as some sort of faith promoting story.
Oh, right. Oh, gross.
Look at how Christian I am. I took care of the homo and didn't make a big deal of it.
Right.
Right.
Ew.
Like that's also what's kind of like, I'm just like, you don't get to be a good Christian. Fuck you.
Now I'm just imagining Frank in a hospital bed with some nurse who's like, "Can I take a selfie with you?" And Frank going, "No." Under no circumstances may you do that. I do not release my image to you. If you took any images of me while I was under, you must delete them, please.
Yeah. You didn't help the homo. You don't get that. I'm not going to give you that.
But they did help, Frank. They did help the homo.
I know.
So what are we going to do about it?
Well,
I feel conflicted.
I mean, there is the other thing of like where maybe it could be conflicting for them, and that's where it gets really complicated, because what if they really like me? He's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he was such a nice guy. Too bad for that gay thing. Oh, and then his boyfriend came in.
Well, what's
right?
amazing?
Like, how far does it? Yeah, anyway, I'm done.
Well, but that's the other side of this coin, is that when they are forced to be in encounters with human beings that they are actively hateful of, and they find them to be good people and kind and generous people, that's when people's minds get changed.
I know we need more. We do need more interaction, right?
That's how minds get changed.
Yeah.
Is by exposure.
I agree with that. I just don't. As it stands right now, I don't like them, and I don't want them out there. Like I just don't. Like it's,
I mean, if being exposed to Franklin Graham, who's very obviously gay himself, isn't enough for them, then nothing's going to change them. Oh, run away to your pool, boy, Franklin. All right. I think we solved nothing just through that conversation.
But nothing.
But at least we've expressed our ambivalence, and that's a good thing.
Our indecision.
Yeah, exactly. Friends at home, if you guys have some input in to ease our ambivalence or to complicate it further, feel free to write in either case. Our address is podcast@thankgodimatheist.com. You can also write in if you put Zoom in the subject line. We'll make sure to make you part of the email group that can then join our Zoom group coming up soon.
Also, you could, not so much for the Zoom, but if you have some feedback, you could call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist. Click that like button.
And while you're there, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It's a closed group, but we will let you in. Also find us on Twitter @TGIAtheist.
Yes. Speaking of Facebook, thanks so much to Mackenzie for all of her work on the Facebook page. Thanks to Amy and Danny for being moderators in the Members Only Lounge.
And a big thanks goes out to the Red Rock Hot Club and to Gordon Johnston for the use of their music.
And thanks to you, dear listener, for tuning in.
Bye-bye.